Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be taking a look at the original Xbox official media remote here. Now, for those of you who don't know, on the original Xbox, unlike the PS2, you had to buy a separate add-on, basically, to play, basically, DVD movies on your console. Whereas the PS2 at the time, you didn't have to do anything like that. You could just plop a PS2 right into the console, or a DVD right into the PS2, and it would play it, no problem. But for the Xbox, they made a unique decision, I guess, to require you to basically buy an add-on here that came with a infrared remote that basically let you unlock the ability to play DVDs on your console. And as I recall, I think Modern Vintage Gamer did a video about this and why they required this. I'll have it in a card up here, and I definitely recommend checking that out if you want to know more about this. But it's my understanding that basically they didn't want to have to pay the, I think it was the Dolby licensing for the sound output for each console. So the idea was that you would just kind of pass the savings onto the customer by not requiring them to have the DVD functionality, I guess. So just an interesting idea. In the end, it kind of made people angry. And eventually, I think if I remember anyways, they included these in like different bundles and stuff like that. You would just get it for free, basically, because they kind of regretted not including that. And in all honesty, I wouldn't really recommend picking one of these up unless you're a collector or you don't intend on modding your consoles and you want to play DVDs on your Xbox for some reason in 2021. Because basically all of the different, soft and hard mods that you can do to the console give you access to play DVDs without needing one of these, which, herp derp, they should have done that in the first place. But, that was just, again, Microsoft's weird sort of business strategy at the time. And in all honesty, as a DVD player, if it's like the only thing you have in your house, maybe then I would recommend using the Xbox as your DVD player. But realistically, you can go to like Goodwill or any number of places or, garage sales and find a DVD player that's going to have HDMI output and just be a lot newer and be able to handle the newer DVDs as well. Because I know that there are some that have like dual density or like dual layers or something, so they're able to fit the longer movies onto one disc, whereas back in the day you'd have something like Lord of the Rings Extended Edition and it would be across two DVDs or whatever for the whole movie. And then the other thing with I guess on the topic of playing DVDs on the original Xbox is that if the DVD is like even a little scratched up, the older DVD drives do not handle that well. And this is true of any DVD player, honestly. Like just the newer ones or even like Blu-ray players that have, I guess, DVD functionality as well. They'll be able to kind of, I guess, brute force their way through and play through the scratches. Like I think back to, I had Shrek on DVD and the disc was so scratched up on the older DVD player that we had that it just wouldn't play the part where Fiona fights off all of those goons in the forest. But on a newer Blu-ray player, it just goes through it fine. And I don't really fully understand how that works exactly, but again, if you're playing on a an older DVD player like the original Xbox, then you're gonna have issues like that. As far as the remote itself goes, I mean, it's pretty standard of the time. It's got mushy buttons. I actually feel like I've seen this remote itself rebranded without the Xbox logo, just as like a universal remote. I don't recall where that is. Maybe I've just seen it online, like they might have reused the mold type of deal, but just really mushy buttons, all your typical DV functions, play, forward, rewind, the display button, which I don't really know what that does. Maybe you can set it up to be like a universal remote for your TV, so it would turn on the screen. Don't really know anything about that, but if you plan on getting one of these, just make sure it has the infrared dongle here as well, because without it, you're just gonna have a remote that kind of isn't that great. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's gonna wrap this up. So if you really want one of these, they're probably only about, I'd say $10 online for the entire set, but, only really get this if you're a collector. That's the, I guess, the gist of it. Or if you absolutely have no other way to play any DVDs in your house besides an original Xbox. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.